Before we get started, I need to give a quick little recap of the history of pizza. Pizza comes from Naples, the city of Naples and the area around it, Campania. And actually a lot of people don't know this, but it has a really long history there. In fact, some of you might know that recently there were some frescoes discovered in the ancient Roman city of Pompeii that literally show pizza. So it goes back really far. However, the dish's popularity was really restricted to that region. And furthermore, it was really restricted by class. The pizza that we're familiar with, flat dough, some toppings on top, was a very, very poor dish. It was what peasants living in the slums of Naples ate. The upper classes of Italian society wouldn't dream of eating pizza. It actually wasn't really until World War II when the Americans came through and we didn't care what we ate. We ate the poor peasant food, we ate the pizza, and we were like, dang, this stuff is really good. And we kind of popularized it around the world. Even though pizza was this very poor dish, it doesn't mean that the nobility in Italy didn't find a way to get in on the action a little bit though. Naples was the sort of capital of its own little southern Italian kingdom before Italy was unified. But the nobility there, they had their own version of pizza. A version of pizza that is almost extinct today and you'll basically never find it, but we really want to try it. We want to see what this royal pizza tasted like. And we're gonna see if it's really fit for a king. All right, so how do we go about making this royal pizza?
The first step is to make what in Italy we call lievitino, which is a fermented starter.
Is it kind of like a poolish?
Sort of. What we need to make this lievitino is flour, yeast, and in this case, milk. Because don't forget, this is a royal pizza, which means that they splurge on the ingredient. They are not happy with water, they need milk. It's important that your milk is warm, so you can put in the microwave just for 15 seconds. I said warm, not boiling. So 50 seconds should be...
15.
15, 1-5, 15. Once the milk is warm, you melt the yeast into the milk, give a stir. And we can go in with the flour. We cover with plastic paper and we let it rise in the oven with the lights on for 1 hour.
Just for those who might not be familiar, this is to create a warm, rising environment. The oven is not on.
No,
it is off.
Just the light.
Just the light. Ooh, look at that.
So after an hour, our lievitino should look like that. As you can see, it is very well risen. Now we can do the actual dough for our pizza, which means that we need the flour, salt, a little bit of honey, eggs, the lievitino, and some lard.
Well, it is a Neapolitan recipe. Gotta have some lard.
Absolutely, yes. It's a very easy dough because the only things that we need to do is put together everything except the lard. We start to mix all together to form a dough. When the dough is formed, it's time to add the lard a little bit at a time, a spoon at a time, and we will add the second spoon after the first one is all well incorporated. When the dough doesn't stick anymore to the bowl, like mine, it's ready. What we do now is taking a bowl, just close it a little bit to give a little bit more strength to the dough.
So this is really more of like a brioche than a traditional pizza dough, huh?
It's the pizza for the royalty, so they want a very rich dough. And now we place in the bowl, we cover with plastic paper and we let it rise in the oven with the lights on for 2 hours.
Whoa, that rose well.
After 2 hours, your pizza dough should look like that, which means it should...
The plastic is bubbling up.
I know, it should triple in size.
Ooh, it smells good. Mmm.
I know, it looks very beautiful. So what we are going to do now is grease with some lard your surface. And we need also to grease our spring form.
Spring form for a pizza. Interesting. Okay. That has a few implications that I can guess at. To me, that suggests a nice, thick pizza. Am I right? Did the kings like thick pizza?
Every person who has good taste in life like thick pizza. And now we can transfer the dough. Now what we are going to do is divide this in 3 parts, which means at the beginning we are going to use 2/3. So more or less something like that. It's so soft.
It looks soft.
And now we need to spread this. You can do with your hands, you can do with the mattarello.
Rolling pin.
Sorry.
Longtime pasta grammarians know what mattarello means, but not everyone does.
And we need to understand if is okay for our spring form.
You wanted to be able to cover the whole thing?
Yes, we need to cover the whole thing. Let's do like that. It's a very soft dough, so don't worry. It's like...
It's tough.
See.
You can stretch it.
See. And now we stuff the pizza. And we are going to stuff the pizza with, if you're in Italy, prosciutto cotto. If you're in America, ham.
And what would ham be without cheese?
See, actually, is a very good combination. And because we have, and because this is a royal pizza, we put more ham.
I'll just leave that ham there.
I wasn't going to leave it there.
Some king's chefs could be executed for that.
But I'm not the chef of a king, so that's okay. I'm safe. Now, what we need to do is take this other part, spread it, because we are going to cover it. All the excess of dough we need to trim out.
Trim off?
Trim off. We need to close very well.
So it's just ham and cheese? There's no like tomato or anything?
Did I say that we are done, Harper?
Oh, sorry.
Sometimes you are very, very impatient. And now we cover with plastic paper. Actually, do you call it plastic paper?
Like plastic wrap.
Okay.
Wrap. It's been like 5 years. I've never corrected you when you call it plastic
I know,
paper.
because right now I'm thinking plastic paper after 5 years.
I find it cute when you call it plastic paper.
So now we close it, we cover it with plastic wrap, and we let it rise for about 2 hours. In the meantime, we are going to prepare the tomato sauce, because we need tomato sauce.
Oh, interesting. Are you actually cooking the tomato sauce
Yes.
for the pizza?
For this pizza, we need a cooked tomato sauce, and it needs to be very, very dense. So it needs to be what we say in Italian, ristretta. So very thick. Here you have a choice. You can use, as I'm going to use, garlic, or you can use onion. Despite what the word means, I think I love garlic more than onion. That's why I'm going to use it for my tomato sauce. But feel free to skip the garlic with the onion. This is a very simple tomato sauce. There is nothing complicated.
Which is usually the case with the best tomato sauces.
See, a clove of garlic, olive oil, a ton of basil, and whole peeled tomatoes. It's obvious that you need also salt. And we let it cook for at least 25-30 minutes, or until your tomato sauce is very shiny, thick, good, and lost all the water. It looks fluffy.
It looks very fluffy.
It looks very fluffy.
A bubble there.
Now we need to finish our pizza, which means that we are going to add on top the mozzarella and the tomato soup, the tomato sauce. Now I'm going to do something that you Americans are very familiar with, which means put before the mozzarella and then the sauce.
Oh, like a Detroit style pizza?
Like a Detroit style pizza.
Ah.
And you see that actually nothing is invented, but everything is going back to Naples.
When you first stuffed this, I thought, oh, okay, so it's gonna be kind of like a pie with a crust. And it sort of is, but it's stuffed, but it's topped like a pizza.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like the ultimate stuffed crust pizza. The whole crust is stuffed. It's
Let's say
awesome.
this. Remember that is a pizza for the royalty, so we want to be generous. I don't think that the royalty was on a diet.
It's good to be the king.
I don't think so, because sometimes the kings, they don't do a very good, they don't have a very good end, usually. So maybe
I said it's good to be the king.
it's good to eat
It's
like
not
a
to
king.
end. That's good to end being the king.
Eat like a king, but then actually to live like a normal person, maybe it's better. So our very thick and good tomato sauce is ready. So we can place all on top. And now it's time to bake it. And this time we don't preheat the oven.
I was actually gonna ask. Yeah, the oven's not on at all.
No. So we will bake it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 180 degrees Celsius, for about 35 minutes, 40 minutes, but with a cold oven.
So you put that in.
I put it in, then
Then
I
you-
turn on the oven at 350
Uh-huh.
and it will cook. So
Okay.
40 minutes from the moment in which I put this into the oven.
Okay. That's a deep dish pizza.
This is the pizza for the royalty.
That's a pizza pie. Look at that.
That is pizza alla Campofranco.
Pizza, what is it?
Pizza alla Campofranco.
Alla Campofranco.
Now it's called pizza alla Campofranco because it was invented by a Monceau back in 1800. I don't know, do you say 1800 in English?
The 1800s?
Yes, by a Monceau for the family of the Prince of Lucchesi Palli di Campofranco. They were one of the most nobility families during the kingdom of the Two Sicily, Regno delle Due Sicilie. And this Monceau was the chef invented this pizza. It is also known in Italy actually in Naples, like pizza raffinata.
Does that mean like refined pizza?
Sì, refined pizza, elegant pizza.
Not for the poor peasants. This is for the refined
This
upper
way.
class.
This is for the nobility.
Lard and ham and cheese. Refined.
Eggs, nowadays is not common to find in any restaurant in Naples.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Because then the poor pizza, the pizza for people, conquered everything, like usually it happens in history. But this you can still find in some family who can keeping this tradition, making this refined pizza.
We should probably explain what Monsu means.
Monsu.
Monsu.
With a Z.
Monsu.
Monsu.
It's the Neapolitan dialect version of like the French monsieur, right?
Yes.
And that's because the Neapolitan nobility back in the day, they would bring all of their chefs in from France because at that time France had all the fancy food and the refined food, the technical chefs, all that stuff. And which is why actually to this day, the Neapolitan food that we know today is really extraordinary, especially like you look at their pastries and stuff like that.
Baba.
Yeah, exactly. It's because it was a melding of the sort of French technical side that these royal chefs brought in, combined with the folk food, like pizza, stuff like that, of the Neapolitan people. So this is like a piece of that sort of evolution of Neapolitan food.
Absolutely. It's a piece of history right here.
We should see how it tastes.
Now, I don't think that it can taste bad.
I don't think so, but
There is nothing wrong about that.
it's historically interesting. Let's make sure that it's gastronomically interesting.
Let's see if Napoli deserves to bring back this refined pizza.
It's much more solid than I was expecting. I thought it would be more sort of sloppy. I thought you might have to eat it with a fork or something.
Why?
I don't know, but
The
it's
Monsu,
very
they
solid.
knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Buon appetito.
Buon appetito. Very gastronomically interesting.
Tell me that it's not delicious.
Wow, that's really good.
Mamma mia. But
I kind of love that.
I hope that there will be someone in Naples, being this part of the history of Naples, that can be someone in Naples who can actually start to do this and offer, because we are losing something here if we don't keep it.
It is really good. Wow.
Is that kind of food that personally I can eat?
I know. I'm almost done with my piece. And I barely even said anything about it.
So the dough is so fluffy.
Yeah, it's totally, obviously it's like a brioche. It's totally different from normal pizza dough, but as a thick pizza, you know, like a lot of people who love, for instance, like Chicago deep dish pizza, it works so well.
It's rich, but it's light at the same time. It doesn't have that fatty taste. Actually,
No, you're right. It's surprisingly light. Like, I'm powering through this. I feel like I could eat that whole pizza
It
and not
tastes
even feel like that brick in
tastes
your
so
stomach, you
light.
know? Wow.
Mamma mia. Wow.
We have visited the topic several times of like seeing if we could figure out maybe some ancestor of American deep dish pizza. We need to enter this as a candidate because
It's like
like, look at it.
10 out of 10. 10.
I was literally about to say 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Totally fit for a king.
For a king and also for me.
It's also like, I know that you need a stand mixer and it uses a few more ingredients than normal pizza, but this is another example of a recipe that is much easier to make at home than real Neapolitan pizza. And if you have guests over or something
Do
and you
it.
want to blow them away with something very unusual and really delicious and cool, you will not go wrong with this.
If you want to change the stuffing a little bit, you can also change.
Yeah, you can put anything you want in there.
So right now I'm thinking about
Pineapple.
a layer of gorgonzola, mozzarella, nduja.
That is a recipe that is worth keeping alive. And I know that you and I will at least, because that we will be making
Absolutely.
again for sure. Speaking of rich food, versus poor food. This pasta grammarian, Killian, made an example of one of the poorest dishes, probably in Italian history. I don't know, it's like, it's way down there, but it is so good.
The name he made, pasta del poverello, pasta do poverello, which is this pasta with a fried egg on top.
The name literally means
Pasta for the poor people.
pasta of the poor people.
Man.
Of the poor man.
When you go and cut in that fried eggs that mix with the pasta.
Yeah, you cut the egg and the yolk kind of becomes the sauce of the pasta. It is super simple. It's amazing.
Well done, Killian.
If you try this pizza recipe,
And do it.
we highly recommend it. We'll put it down in the description below, by the way. If you try it, tag us in a picture on Instagram or Facebook at Pasta Grammar. Let us know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And we'll see you next time. Ciao. I need another slice of that.
You're not the only one. Sorry.
Give me your plate. That is so good.